there's only two kinds of people in football, especially in India. It's always been pro Cristiano Ronaldo, anti Cristiano Ronaldo. Doesn't matter what the team is. At that point, it was Man U when you and I were in university. So they were like the Man U fans, and then there's like any other club, doesn't matter, you're a non-Man U fan, right? So you were not exactly a supporter of a Man U. I've known you forever, and you've been an ardent supporter of Liverpool,
Yeah,
like forever,
yeah.
right? But that term where you think that he has a lot of ego, is that coming from a personal space, or do you think that's truly who he is today? He's
No,
always had a bit of an ego, right?
yeah, I don't think that it's just that it's finally inflated to the point where it's a problem. When you are the best player in the world and everyone else around you acknowledges that and
Yeah.
awards you for that, your ego is obviously getting stroked. And you're rightfully so in his case, because he really was at one point the best in the world. But
Yeah.
he's 37 years old,
Hmm.
and Mother Nature is caught up. And there's that point where you are at your peak, and it's probably a good time to start saying, maybe it's time to shut up shop and leave on a high. But he he clearly decided that I
Yeah.
am still the best. Maybe he feels that, and he is fit. It's not like he's terrible as a player. It's just that he's not the same as he was before.
Why do you even move to Man U? That's my question. I don't keep up.
I think it was more of a nostalgic move than anything, because Man United today is not the same team it was 10 years ago. 10 years
Yeah.
ago they were top of the top. They were really good.
Yeah.
They've not been good for the last 5 or 6 years. And he knew that moving in. They never finish they rarely finish in the top 4, if that, in the Premier League. But he knew that moving in. He knew they were not really competing on all fronts the way they used to. And the idea was, maybe if he comes back, this is our
Hmm.
guy. This is the guy who brought us all those trophies so many years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe he can turn things around. And he started well enough, but then it's his personality was such that he played at huge clubs before Man U, like before he came back
Yeah.
the second time around. And maybe he was used to playing with really insanely talented players around him. Man United is rebuilding right now. So when you come into that setup, you're there more as a leader. You're supposed to show them the
A
way, show them
mentor.
that it's
Yeah.
possible. Yeah, like a mentor. But he came in with his inflated ego, hoping to be like, I'm the star, pass the ball to me. I'm going to
Yeah.
score all the goals. I'm going to celebrate in front of the fans. He did that for a bit and it worked for a bit. But obviously, when you are that big and you think that big, that much of yourself, it's going to rub a lot of people the wrong way in the dressing room. He
Yeah.
basically disrespects the manager. That's kind of what came out in the interview, is they asked him if he respects the new manager who's been brought in to bring about change at the club, and he said, nope, I don't really respect him. I don't get him. He doesn't understand me. I don't need to understand him. And that's such a it's not the attitude of a leader. It's not the attitude of someone who
Not a team player.
is past, yeah, someone who's past the twilight of their career, to be fair, and
Yeah.
someone who can gracefully step away from it. It would have been perfect if he could have accepted the role that I'm not the star anymore that I used to be. I'm here to help them, and I'm here to help the club that made me who I was, made me famous,
Yeah.
gave me the opportunity to perform, and gracefully bow out from here.
I mean, I don't think it's even about. I don't think it's a question about his talent or whether it's he's over his peak. It's just that it doesn't seem like a good fit. From what you said, he's used to being the star of the show. You can only be that if your team can keep up, right? And as you pointed out, Manu at this point is kind of rebuilding from the ground up. So for him to expect that to happen, it's just not going to work. What they needed was a mentor, a team player who can work with the team and get it to where it was. Um,
You nailed it there, because not everyone's set up to do it. Not a lot of players, once they retire, they try coaching, they try managing, but not everyone is capable of doing that. Not every player on the team, even if you're the best player, that doesn't make you the captain of the team. Sometimes it's not the best player that's the captain.
I don't follow football as much. For me, the biggest analogy, I mean, would be to cricket, which also I don't follow as much. But I remember when Dhoni used to be at the peak, and then he went on to become the team captain, and he was fantastic in that position. I don't think not every player out there can do that.
The fans just associated Ronaldo with this, especially when you're going through such a bad season, or when you've been through a bad few seasons under, new manager, players are leaving, you can't attract the best players in the world anymore the way you used to, but you still pull in arguably the best player in the world at the time, Ronaldo. You hope that that's going to change things, but then he comes in and basically confirms all your fears that no, this place is not great. Like, you guys are not going to win anything. I'm not going to help you anyway. So, it's best that he leaves. They should be okay with him leaving, and let that be that.
A buddy of mine put up an Instagram post, and they quoted him from the Joker saying that, either you die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And it's just so true in this case, and it's sad.